In the final days of his life, as Albert Einstein lay in a hospital bed in Princeton, New Jersey, he asked for his notes, his pencil, and a moment of silence. The nurses watched as his weathered hands, once steady enough to redefine the universe, trembled slightly as he wrote. What was he writing? What final wisdom was this man who had peered deeper into the cosmos than perhaps any human before him trying to leave behind? The year was 1955. The world had already witnessed the horror of atomic bombs falling on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, weapons whose theoretical foundation Einstein had inadvertently helped create. And in those final moments, as his breath grew shallow, Einstein wasn't calculating equations. He was warning humanity about something far more profound than nuclear devastation. Something we're only now beginning to fully understand. Have you ever felt that despite all our technological progress, our smartphones, our instant connectivity, our artificial intelligence, something essential is slipping away? That beneath the noise of notifications and the glow of screens, we're losing touch with what makes us truly human? Einstein felt it too, and he tried to warn us. In 1939, Einstein signed a letter to President Franklin D. Roosevelt that would alter the course of human history. Written with physicist Leo Szilard, the letter warned that recent scientific breakthroughs could lead to extremely powerful bombs of a new type, what we now know as atomic bombs. Einstein, a pacifist who had fled Nazi Germany, feared Hitler might develop such weapons first. That letter helped launch the Manhattan Project. And when Einstein learned that atomic bombs had devastated Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945, he whispered, "Woe is me." Later, he would call signing that letter his one great mistake. But this isn't just a story about nuclear weapons. It's about something deeper, a warning that echoes through time to us today, sitting here, perhaps watching this on a device that would have seemed magical in Einstein's time. Technological progress is like an axe in the hands of a pathological criminal, Einstein once said. Not because technology itself is evil, but because of what happens when our technological power outpaces our wisdom, our compassion, our humanity. Think about that for a moment. How often do you feel overwhelmed by technology? How often do you sense that instead of technology serving us, we're serving it? That instead of connecting us, it's isolating us in invisible ways? Before we go deeper into Einstein's warning, let's remember that behind the iconic wild hair and the tongue-sticking-out photos was a man who understood human suffering intimately. Born in 1879, Einstein was thought to be backward as a child. He spoke late, struggled in school, and was considered by some teachers to be slow. He failed his first attempt at university entrance exams. Later, after graduating, he couldn't find an academic position and ended up working as a patent clerk. Even after his scientific breakthroughs, Einstein faced rejection. When Hitler rose to power, Einstein, a Jewish man, had to flee his homeland. His property was seized, his books were burned, and his name was on Nazi death lists. Have you ever felt misunderstood, rejected, like your gifts weren't recognized? Einstein lived that reality for years, and yet, in the midst of this turmoil, Einstein maintained something precious, something he feared humanity might lose in its rush toward technological advancement. He maintained his sense of wonder. "The most beautiful thing we can experience is the mysterious," he wrote. "It is the source of all true art and science. He to whom this emotion is a stranger, who can no longer pause to wonder and stand wrapped in awe, is as good as dead. His eyes are closed." When was the last time you stood in awe of something? When did you last look at the stars, or watch a child learn something new, or feel the vastness of the ocean and simply marvel? In our rush to document everything on social media, to optimize every moment, have we lost our capacity for wonder? In the years after World War II, as the Cold War intensified and the nuclear arms race accelerated, Einstein became increasingly concerned about humanity's path. But his warning went beyond the threat of nuclear annihilation. Shortly before his death in 1955, Einstein signed what would be his final public act, the Russell-Einstein Manifesto. This document, written with philosopher Bertrand Russell, warned that hydrogen bombs could potentially end human civilization. But embedded in this warning was something deeper, a plea for us to remember our shared humanity in an age of increasing technological power. Remember your humanity and forget the rest, the manifesto urged. These words weren't just about avoiding nuclear war. They were about preserving what makes us human in an age where technology threatens to reshape our very nature. Einstein saw it coming. He feared the day when the technology overlaps with our humanity, the world will only have a generation of idiots. Look around you. We have access to more information than any humans in history, yet misinformation spreads like wildfire. We're more connected than ever, yet loneliness has reached epidemic levels. It is strange to be known so universally and yet to be so lonely, Einstein once confessed. How many of us feel that same paradox today? With hundreds or thousands of social media connections, yet a deep sense of isolation? Think about this. When Einstein was developing his theories, he didn't have a supercomputer or even a calculator. He had pencil, paper, and something we're increasingly losing, uninterrupted time to think deeply. Time for his mind to wander, to make connections, to wonder. When was the last time you sat in silence without reaching for your phone? When did you last allow your mind to simply be? Einstein's warning wasn't just about technology itself. It was about what happens to us when we surrender our humanity to our machines. We can't solve problems by using the same kind of thinking we used when we created them, he insisted. Yet today, we often try to solve problems created by technology with more technology. Feeling disconnected? Here's another app. Attention fractured? Here's a focus timer. Relationship suffering? Try this dating algorithm. Einstein understood something fundamental about being human that we're at risk of forgetting. He knew that logic and reason, while powerful, are only part of what makes us who we are. Logic will get you from A to Z, imagination will get you everywhere, he said. And the intuitive mind is a sacred gift, and the rational mind is a faithful servant. We have created a society that honors the servant and has forgotten the gift. In our data-driven world, we've elevated the rational mind, the part that can be replicated by algorithms, while neglecting the intuitive, the creative, the empathetic parts of ourselves that no artificial intelligence can truly replicate. And this brings us to perhaps Einstein's most profound warning, one that speaks directly to our moment in history. A human being is part of the whole called by us universe, a part limited in time and space. He experiences himself, his thoughts and feelings, as something separated from the rest, a kind of optical delusion of his consciousness. This optical delusion, this sense of separation, has only intensified in our digital age. We're increasingly living in personalized information bubbles, algorithmic echo chambers that reinforce our existing beliefs and separate us from those who think differently. Einstein warned that the fairest thing we can experience is the mysterious. Yet we're building a world where mystery is eliminated, where algorithms predict our desires before we even know them ourselves, where efficiency trumps wonder, where connection is reduced to likes and shares. But Einstein didn't just warn us, he showed us another way. Despite witnessing the horrors his scientific work had inadvertently helped create, he maintained his faith in humanity's capacity for growth. There are only two ways to live your life, he said. One is as though nothing is a miracle. The other is as though everything is a miracle. Which path are you choosing? In a world that increasingly values productivity over presence, information over wisdom, and connection over communion, Einstein's message calls us back to our humanity. When he wrote that peace cannot be kept by force, it can only be achieved by understanding, he wasn't just talking about nations. He was talking about the peace within ourselves, the integration of our technological power with our moral wisdom. Think of how you felt the last time you put your phone down and truly connected with someone you love. Remember the last time you lost yourself in creating something, or stood beneath a star-filled sky, or helped someone without expecting anything in return. That feeling, that is what Einstein was trying to protect. That is what he feared we might lose. In his final years, Einstein was asked what question he would ask God if he had the chance. His response reveals the heart of a man who, despite revolutionizing physics, remained humble before the mystery of existence. I would ask, why did you create a world where your presence is so hidden? Perhaps the answer lies not in the cosmos, but within us. Perhaps God, or meaning, or purpose, or whatever name you give to the deepest reality isn't hidden at all. Perhaps we've just forgotten how to see. As we stand at this crossroads in human history, with artificial intelligence advancing rapidly, with climate change threatening our planet, with our attention more fractured than ever before, Einstein's warning echoes across time. Remember your humanity. Stand in awe of the mysterious. Use technology as a tool, not as a replacement for human connection. Recognize that we are not separate from each other or from the world around us. And perhaps most importantly, maintain your capacity for wonder, for, as Einstein knew, wonder is the beginning of wisdom. In those final days in the Princeton hospital, as Einstein worked on his notes until the very end, he wasn't just a scientist completing calculations. He was a human being trying to leave behind a message of hope, a reminder that even as our technological power grows, our greatest strength lies in our capacity for compassion, for creativity, for connection. Einstein warned us about the danger of letting our humanity be overshadowed by our technology. He warned us about the illusion of separation. He warned us about losing our sense of wonder. The question now is, are we finally ready to listen? The choice is yours. The choice is ours. Remember your humanity. The rest is just details. Perhaps Einstein's greatest gift wasn't his equations or his theories, but his reminder that in a universe of infinite complexity, it's our humanity that matters most. In a world increasingly defined by algorithms and automation, remember that your capacity to feel, to wonder, to connect, these are the things no machine can replicate. These are the things that make you irreplaceable. As you go about your day, surrounded by the technology Einstein helped make possible, take a moment to look up at the stars. Feel the vastness of the cosmos. And remember that you, with all your flaws and dreams and contradictions, are as wondrous as any galaxy. Einstein warned us, but it's not too late to listen. If this message resonated with you today, please share your thoughts in the comments below. How are you balancing technology with humanity in your own life? What part of Einstein's warning speaks most deeply to you? And if you'd like more content that explores the deeper wisdom of history's greatest minds, subscribe to our channel and join this community of seekers and thinkers. Thank you for taking this moment to reflect with me today. In a world of endless distraction, your attention is perhaps the most precious gift you can give.